What's up, y'all? Sorry about that. Woo! Ah, I'm out of breath. Huh, from smoking. I just took a big ass hit of weed before I came out for this smoke. Shit, hurt my lungs. My life, my life, my life, my life in sunshine. Mm. Oh no, do I got a tissue on me? I don't think so. No tissues. No tissues at all. What up, Vaughn? Glue, have you thought about becoming a Satan worshiper? It seems to have been lucrative for other people. No, I have not ever thought about being a Satanist. Um, I think the religion is interesting. Both forms of Satanism, actual Satan worship or Luciferian Satanism, or Levian Satanism rather. But no, I never thought about it. No. This seems to be a topic of hot interest. This seems to be a hot topic, hot interest you. This seems to be a topic of hot interest you. Well, yeah. I'm in all things about like what people believe in different religions and whatnot. I just know you're not a real juggalo, Vaughn. You are not a real juggalo. No religion has it right. Yeah. No religion has it right. No religion has it wrong. Well, yeah, they all got it wrong. Or maybe they all do. Yeah. No religion has it right. Maybe they all do. It means what's happening. What up, Stu? What means it means what up happening. My stomach's making noises. I don't know if y'all can hear that. And my nose is running. Stu and Vaughn. The match made in heaven. Got Stu and Vaughn. That was magical to have both of y'all on the panel the other day. Or was that just yesterday? Had both y'all on the panel. And then I think I accidentally backed out, rage quit real quick. I came back and everyone left. A pocket full of sunshine. Just kidding. I have balls. That's pretty funny. Shit's hilarious. My nose is running. It's running because it's cold. I have to blow my nose. And I don't have a tissue. I'm about to use the sleeve of my hoodie. No, I can wait. It's not that bad. Vaughn has a pocket full of shit. Better go freeze it again. Vaughn freezes his poop to make Toto. You're disgusting. Oh, man. That's a pretty messed up thing to say about someone there, Stu. And Vaughn, if that's true, you're one nasty, sick individual. But I don't think it's true because that's just weird. It's on the internet, so it must be true. Yeah, you can't lie on the internet. Get fact checked quick. It's illegal to lie on the internet. You cannot lie on the internet or else you can get a fine. Dead air. Well, you can't hear me, Gray Knight? What's your favorite bass guitar, Vaughn? Should have went to those. I couldn't afford Ball State, Vaughn. Car insurance costs more than that college. Cool. Cool story, bro. Yes, Stu, why you ruining? No, you're not ruining the show. Wait, hush up, Vaughn. Stu is the life of the party. He's so um I don't know, entertaining or something. Vaughn has daddy issues, eh? Stu, guess what? You're gay, we already know that. Oh, that's harsh. But Stu said, drop the link. What time you outline? I don't want the link, you idiot. Blue, you're ruining your show. No, you're not. This is Juggalo drama, or y'all are fighting.
Her dreams were shattered when she discovered that her husband Randall was dead. Now she wants to know, what do we do now? Do we have children? Do we stay together? Do we get a divorce? What happens now that we both have it out on the table?
The day that Sean and I got married, I was there for the phone call. I wanted to get married. I wanted to have kids. I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't gay.
The signs that I might have overlooked before our marriage, with the fact that he liked to sew, he was also a decorator, he actually sewed my wedding dress.
I was so busy trying to hide the secret that I had to make sure that nothing ever slipped.
Ow.
Suspicions for several years, but I didn't back on it for.
Damn, he's really gay.
I knew when Randy was gay, when I had found some homosexual pornography.
My wife was driving down the road and had to slam on the brakes, and all of a sudden, a black bag of men's magazines flew out from under the seat. After I work,
He had gay magazines in his car.
I didn't deny it. I said, yes, I'm gay, and I've always been gay. You married me, and I was gay.
I was lost. My whole world was falling apart around me. I was losing my husband to another man, and I can't compete with another woman. I could try, another man.
We are still currently living together.
Randy and I still sleep together and say that there is no more physical relationship between the two of us. At this point, I have given Randy permission to go out on a date. I am not out looking to date at this point in time. As of this moment, I don't know if it's better to stay together or not. We really don't know.
I am in love with my wife, but I need to set her free because I think she needs to find the love of her life.
Do you think that he's been deceiving himself, you,
I think he's
both
been
of you? What?
deceiving himself for this entire life.
When did you acknowledge?
Fon's depressed over his daddy. Stu, low key, I'm worried about you, son, bro. Or I'm worried about my son, bro. I'm sorry to hear that. He's been smashing your old lady. Oh. Mom, please tab first. Bass guitar. I don't care, Von. Nobody business. Still, I love you.
It's just a kind of a fantasy.
All right.
Did you know then, but you didn't tell her, or you didn't know either?
I think in our marriage, it was on a rocky platform, so.
Well, y'all, that was the last smoke of the night.
Say this, I'm gay, or continue with the.
Um,
Trying to hide it. And I think that, we were at a point in our lives that we just really needed to say this is the way that it is.
What's your biggest concern now?
My biggest concern right now, I think, is to continuously keep an open relationship so we can proceed along and do what's best for the kids.
Do you think that this relationship as a marriage, as a husband and wife should end? How about you?
I feel awesome.
One of your questions for me is, from the child's standpoint, what is better for us to do at this point? What are your thoughts about that? Take yourselves out of it, look at it from the child's standpoint. You know your children, what do you think?
I think they need to see their parents in an openly affectionate relationship that, not that we don't sincerely love each other, but I'm afraid that they will, or that we will eventually start to resent each other more than we were before we were honest with each other. And then that can just turn everything ugly and nasty, and I don't want the girls to have to go through that. And something that keeps resonating in my mind that I hear you say so often is that children would rather be from a broken home than be in one. And I don't want that for my kids. I don't want them, I don't want to feel 15, 20 years from now, why did I stay? Why did I put my kids through that? I don't want to do that to them. I want everything to be good and happy.
What do you say about it?
I would much rather have us living next door to each other. Obviously, it won't work as a long distance thing, but I would rather be so close that the girls can actually be a part of both of our lives.
Here's the thing, and we're gonna take a break and we'll talk to you all about this. The biggest issues, the biggest questions that you have here have nothing to do with the fact that you're gay and married to a woman. The biggest issues that you have here from the standpoint.
yeah, I'm getting ready to go, I guess.
What kind of
Since y'all are just fighting.
Is it one where you're not modeling the kind of things that you would want them to see? Yeah, is there stability? Is there resentment? Is there?
I'm gonna go lay down and watch some Dr. Phil.
None of that had anything to do with the fact that you have a mixed orientation marriage here. What that has to do with is that you're a mother and a father, and you're creating an environment for these children. How healthy, how stable, how nurturing, how warm, how right is it in that regard? So I'm going to talk to you about that after the break. And I want to talk to you about what the children know and how they found out, what questions they've got in their mind. Talk about all that.
I was really worried about where I was going to tell my friends that my dad was gay. I think that it's a sin, but I don't think that it's that bad of a sin. It's not the worst thing in the world that you can do. But you're going to experience that my mom and dad get divorced.
That was 12-year-old Morgan, who says her biggest fear is that her mother will divorce her gay father. How do you respond to her saying?
I just don't want her to be brokenhearted. I want her life to be perfect and happy. And it breaks my heart that she is afraid that we would never speak to each other, that I would move them far away from their dad. And I know she has those fears because that's what happened. His first wife moved away with his first two kids. And I've told her over and over again that that's not my goal. It's not my intention to ever.
Fondness only key misses you below, really.
Now, do you think sometimes that you kind of take denial to a higher art form? this is just like a hobby with you. I mean, you said you knew before that you got married that something in your head, and I'm not sure that it was for the right reasons that you attribute it to, but you say first, well, he was an interior decorator. Doesn't mean he's gay, but nonetheless.
I can't blame him for only talking to Fat.
Well, he's doing that.
Well,
Then you said he actually sewed my wedding dress. And that was like a ding, ding, ding for you. And that you said he always hung out with the women and not with the guys who were watching football and all of that. So that was a ding, ding, ding for you. But nonetheless, did you ever say, excuse me, are you gay?
I never asked.
And if she had, you would have said no.
Absolutely. I would have denied it.
How's that working for you? You know, I mean, exactly. It's not working, right? So we got to stop the denial. And we got to deal with where we are and what we've got. And this isn't a matter of, you're not doing anything wrong. You said this is a difficult lifestyle. Being gay isn't a lifestyle. It isn't a it isn't like a choice selection type thing. This is hardwired. You've been denying who you are. And you shouldn't feel guilt about that. You shouldn't feel shame about that. But what you should do is own it and all of the decisions that have been made while you were in the denial. You sat down and told your children, tell me when, tell me what, tell me.
We just kind of brought it up in the conversation. So, how did you feel if your mom was gay? How did you feel if your dad was gay? And they thought we were just kind of joking about the whole situation, but then we said, well, this is what it is.
At dinner?
At dinner.
It was at home.
Yes.
So,
No, you're at home.
yeah. It's not something you want to throw out at Chuck E. Cheese, okay? What did you say? Finally got to the point where you said the fact. Did you say, girls, I'm gay? What were your words? What did you say?
That's not exactly what I said. I said, your dad is gay. And they said, yeah, right.
What was their understanding at age 10 and 12 of gay?
Like I said, we've been integrating it into their life for the past 6 months or so, just so they kind of know what the lifestyle is. So they,
What the orientation?
right, so that they knew what it basically was.
What was their reaction back to you?
The oldest one did, as you saw, she did say that it was a sin. And so we talked about sin at that point in time. And she was concerned how people at church were going to react and that they would possibly go to church and that sort of stuff. And, but the younger one is so amazing. I think she's so resigning at the age of 10. And we were breaking the news to his parents. She actually went down into the bedroom, came back up with a set of pom-poms, cheerleader pom-poms, and stood there and did a cheer for her dad. How much she loved her dad, and no matter what, she loved him.
The conversation.
fine, you plagiarize every gay joke in the middle of the chat.
Is not.
But did you know that your boy Stu talks mad shit about you over at the non-consensual channel?
They're going to have different understandings, different awarenesses, and different questions associated with that. Which is why one of the things that we've got to do today is resolve that we're going to get out of denial completely and totally. This has created problems. You trying to struggle between the two worlds has caused you to make some bad decisions in the past and get in a bind in a couple of ways that wouldn't have happened had you accepted this and been more forthcoming about it. Same problem can happen going forward. We can't sort of pretend I'm gay, but we're married. I'm just like, okay, this is the integrity of marriage here, but yet I'm going out and dating men. You've got to be right up front about what all of that means and what the decisions are. And then once you decide that, then there are a whole set of options that open up to you. that are healthy choices that you can make. And I'm gonna tell you guys, listen, I never ask somebody to substitute my judgment for their own. But I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think so you can weigh it and make your own decision. Action oriented, what should happen next? Let's do that right now. I'm involved with a program called Async Autism, and we have over 130 programs around the country. I'm on the baseline. And I'm sponsoring one of the workshops at my house, where we bring out children that are experiencing autism and start getting them involved in tennis. We start out with really basic skills, and right now what you see behind me is getting them to just balance tennis ball on a racket, walk from the baseline to the net. The idea is to have fun, and the idea is for everyone to experience success, to master what's going on. And then it starts scaling up from there. And pretty soon we're hitting balls, volleying balls, hitting ground strokes. Oh, yeah. What's it like when you see these kids start to light up with a racket? Because they really get a sense of mastery when they can do this.
At that level, they should have fun. I mean, if you talk with parents, you'll find out that they're not here for the credit, they're here for the social connection, the exercise.
You asked me to be involved. I was really excited about it because these kids need mastery in the world. All right, Molly, good job, good job. And when they're doing something that they drive by and see other kids doing in the park, it just makes them feel more part of the mainstream life. You see it in their eyes when you play it.
There's a typical community program, there's about 15 kids, a little bit about 15 high school or college students to volunteer.
It's a great way to get your child, if they're on the spectrum in any way, involved in a great experience, mentally, emotionally, socially, and certainly skill-wise. You're 5 in a row, that's great. This is non-profit. There'll be very minimal charges locally that all go into the program. So this is all about the kids, everything local stays like. Today we're talking about marriage dilemmas. I'm here with Randall and Sean. And the fact is, Randall is gay. He's acknowledged that to himself and to his wife, yet they're in a relationship that is loving. They're in a family that is loving. They have 2 girls that they're very, very concerned about. The question is, what do we do next? What's best for everybody, right? And first off, are we agreed that good, bad, or indifferent, this is the deal? So you totally wrapped your non-denial mind around it. Because you married a guy that in your mind and heart you knew it was gay. What was your thought at that time? Deal new? I mean, what?
I guess I was looking at the good points of it. I mean, I have a guy that likes to cook. He likes to sew. He likes to hang out with my sisters and my family. And, you know, he's not sitting on the sofa drinking beer and watching the games. Not like he and I. I have a remote. I do the yard work. He does the housework stuff. So I was, I guess, looking at it how.
Okay, so you're not a victim. You were as much a knowing participant in this decision as were you. I mean, neither of you were like, okay, I'm marrying a gay guy, everybody come to the drink. It wasn't that level of awareness, and nor was it with you. But you kind of knew what you were getting into here. And so this is the matter for somebody to play the victim. But let's deal with the reality of where we are. If in a perfect world, I would have had you acknowledging this way earlier. And I know, of course, I know. And your family, you would have had this acknowledged a whole lot earlier, right?
Yeah.
Did y'all know?
Well,
Okay.
everyone knows for sure. So that we had a feeling.
That's not something you bring up at the reception, right? So it was.
Always had a, our own little intuition.
This is Mom, aunt, sisters, everybody that has been involved in this, and will continue. You have said that your plan is to stay married until the girls get out of high school and go to college, that's an option.
I don't think it's staying married, we're going to stay conjoined.
When I say let's not be in denial, I mean, let's call a spade a damn shovel, okay? Let's get right down to where we are. This is not a marriage, and you don't want to continue. My advice to you is that you do get a divorce. I know that that's a bump in the road for your daughters, but let me tell you something. They will handle this, and they will handle it particularly because the two of you are not falling out of love with each other. You're not falling out of regard for each other. You're not wanting to take each other out of your life. But you have to understand that you have things you want to do. You had this dream of what you wanted, and you shouldn't deny yourself that. And you shouldn't model for your girls that you deny yourself that. See, most of the problems that come from divorce is that the base of operations for the children is fractured, it's threatened. It's threatened. That's their home base. That's where they feel safe. That's where they know that they have that unconditional positive love and regard from the two most important people in their life. And what happens in most divorces is because there's so much animosity and sniping at each other, they wind up in a crossfire, they get pulled in a tug of war, and they wind up blaming themselves that they've done something wrong that created this fracture, and then they get into guilt, they get into shame, they get into a real state of instability. Doesn't have to be that way here. What you could do is sit down with these girls and say, listen, we have now come to understand who we are and who Dad is. And I love him, and he will always be my best friend, and he will always be all of the things that you've seen in our lives, and he's going to continue to be your father and continue to be involved. And you say the same things and the same positive regard with her, and then make the right commitments to do what you need, but yet endorse and support each other pursuing what their heart and mind tells them that you need to do. I can tell you that's not a perfect solution. I never want children to go through a divorce. I don't say that lightly, but I can tell you that I believe the net position that they will be in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years from now will be greatly enhanced versus if they stay together in a relationship that is virtually alive. Children are very resilient as long as they see love and mutual support and no fracture of that relationship and bond. I'm going to predict that they do very well. They're very intelligent, articulate, precocious children, and I think they will do well. What do you think about what I'm saying?
I agree with you 100%.
What do you think about it?
I'm all there.
Well, I know when to shut up. Okay, next, we're going to talk to another woman who knew a little something about her husband before they got married. And now she says he's so lazy, she wants a divorce. We'll be right back.
On a scale of 1 to 10, my husband Robert is definitely a 10 when it comes to being lazy.
Lazy is okay.
In the past 10 months, he hasn't had a job.
Robert's been writing a book for the past
2 months. It's about zombies. I think that he could work and still write.
You feel like you're running a hotel instead of a household? My next guest, Natalie, does. She says that her husband, Robert, hasn't worked in a year, doesn't help with any of the housework. Robert says that his job is to pursue his dream of writing a book. But Natalie says his book is nothing more than an excuse that he just doesn't want to work. Take it away.
The biggest issue that I have with my husband Robert is that he's very lazy.
Lazy is okay. It's more of a lack of ambition, I guess.
I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, he's definitely a 10 when it comes to being lazy.
If she asks me to do the job, I'll do it, but I don't take the initiative to do it. I feel I do my share of housework.
I think Robert tons up a lot of his duties at my son. Yeah.
Gavin's 11, and I believe that a boy 11 years old
nice with Gavin to do the breakfast dishes and dig out the garbage.
I'll come home and I'll say, who took the dishes? And Gavin will say, I did. I hate doing the dishes. My husband Robert does not work. For the past 10 months, he hasn't had a job. He hasn't applied for a job.
A minimum wage job for myself is a complete waste of time. If I work at $8 an hour for 40 hours a week, and I get a better job. My mother passed away, and I have some money that was left. And I decided that my dream would be to be a writer. So I decided to start writing a book, and I used the money from my mom to support myself.
Robert's been writing a book for the past 2 months. It's about zombies.
I would write this book even if I had a good paying job right now.
I see him writing, and I also see a bank account dwindling away. He spent a large chunk of money on a very expensive vehicle. He didn't need one with fancy mags and leather interior and all these perks.
I opted out the grill work for customers. I don't understand why Natalie is upset that I'm not working. Not working is more effective financially other than never dream the savings. Like,
In just over a year, he's spent $50,000, the money that his mother left him. I don't think Robert thinks about the good of the family. I can't depend on him to be somewhere on time. I can't depend on him to bring in money. I can't depend on him for anything.
Okay. You say it's like being married to a teenager
It is, very much.
because he plays video game, watches DVDs, doesn't work,
Right.
so all of that.
The only difference is with my son, he actually listens to me. I can't get Robert to stop playing video games.
Yeah, okay. So what do you say about all this?
I disagree with her, actually. I do my share of the house. I think.
You're writing a book about zombies?
Yes.
You kind of think it's like an autobiography. I mean, that's how you describe it, right? I mean, because you're being pretty hard on it. He says, no, I do some stuff around it.
He does do a few little things. Much more often than not, it's me or our son Gavin.
You've never been real big on work. You said you're the lazy, you said I was lazy.
Well, I worked for 7 years in Central. I don't have a problem working.
What was he doing when he married you?
Delivering Chinese food.
Okay.
But at least he was working. At least he was working.
He says, he made a list for it. Of things that you do around the house. He says, I wash the dog, I clean the toilet, I clean hair from the bathtub weekly, vacuum twice a week. I cook dinner, but rarely, because she does that. Occasionally help with the laundry, dust occasionally. Sweep leaves off the balcony. Occasionally, admittedly rarely, occasionally take out the trash and makes the bed. At least he does some occasional things, but that's not enough. You want the boy to get a job.
Yeah.
Right, you want him to get a job and make a financial contribution to,
I want to move forward. I want us to get home. I want us to expand our family. We can't do that free.
how realistic is it to write this book in your opinion?
In my opinion, it's very realistic.
And we'll talk about that when we come back. I mean, the question is he a talented, undiscovered writer? Or is this just a socially sanctioned excuse to say, I am working on a writer?
Because I don't eat breakfast, I feel that I shouldn't have to be forced to do the breakfast dishes for everybody else. I feel that a majority of the messes that the family creates, they can fix themselves. They can clean up their mess, and I believe that would create harmony in the house.
I'm involved with this program called Async Autism, and we have over 130 programs around the country. I'm on the baseline, and I'm sponsoring one of the workshops at my house, where we bring out children that are experiencing autism and start getting them involved in tennis. We start out with really basic skills, and right now what you see behind me is getting them to just balance tennis ball on a racket, walk from the baseline to the net. The idea is to have fun, and the idea is for everyone to experience experience success, to master what's going on. And then it starts scaling up from there, and pretty soon we're hitting balls, and volleying balls, hitting ground strokes. Oh, God, what's it like when you see these kids start to light up in the racket? Because they really get a sense of mastery when they can do this.
You can let their level, they should have fun. I mean, if you talk with parents, you'll find out that they're not here for the critics, they're here for the social connection, the exercise.
You asked me to be involved, and I was really excited about it because these kids need mastery in life. All right, well, good job, good job. And when they're doing something that they drive by and see other kids doing in the park, it just makes them feel more part of the mainstream of life. And you see it in their eyes when you're playing.
There's a typical community program, there's about 15 kids, and then about 15 high school college students to watch it.
It's a great way to get your child, if they're on the spectrum in any way, involved in great experience, mentally, emotionally, socially, and certainly skill-wise. You had 5 in a row, that's great. This is nonprofit. So there's minimal charges locally that all go into the program. So, just know this is everything local says.
If something doesn't change, I will end up leaving. I think it's just a matter of time. Really, part of me feels like it'll be a relief, but mostly I feel sad. Not sad for me, sad for Robert, because I think he'll be lonely.
Natalie says that she's leaving if her husband doesn't change his lazy ways. She says he watches TV all day while she works 40 hours a week, plus cooks, cleans, pays bills. He even gets her 11-year-old son to do his chores, according to her. Now, you say that you just choose not to work.
No, that's not true. Right now, I choose not to work because I feel that writing the book is working. And if the book doesn't work out, then I can almost get a job.
What do you think is the likelihood that you get the book published? You think it's like a 50-50 chance, or a 10% chance, or 80% chance?
I feel that
Just your opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm just curious what you think.
I think it will get published. I think it will get published 100%. And if it doesn't get published by a major company, I'll do it myself.
And he wants me to wait until all that happens. I just, my fears right now, he's spending the money that his mother's left, and it's disappearing. And I'm worried about what's gonna happen. We're gonna run out of money.
Can you not write this book and work?
I probably could, but I don't think it would be as good because when you write a book, well, for me anyway, when I'm writing a book, I need to get into the characters and feel what they're feeling in order to write it accurately. And if I come home from working all day long, I'm not going to really be wound up from work, relax a bit, and I'll be tired. I won't be able to.
But this is the real world. Let me just tell you the real world. And I know something about publishing. Because I've got, in my family, we published 9 New York Times bestsellers. Even if this is what you want to do, you're doing it wrong. You got to write a proposal, and you got to get somebody behind that proposal because they'll tell you what direction it needs to take. Chance of anybody ever reading a completed manuscript is probably 0. They'll just never read it. They'll read a proposal, they will not read your book. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I agree with you 100%. There's no guarantee. There's nothing saying that this book is going to work. So, I mean, I know his heart is into it. I don't want to crush that, but at the same time, he needs to work. He needs to support.
I don't get this, you know, you feel like you'll be like too tired. I've written 6 books, sold 25 million copies, and every one I wrote while I had a job. I mean, I did it while I was working. I would go do work, and then I would write. And I would go work, and I would write. On the weekends, I would write some more. Then I'd let it sit aside, and I'd go back and look at it, and then I'd write some more. I didn't just say, well, you know, Robin, I'm moving in.
Exerts him physically, he doesn't want to do anything that requires him to be anywhere for a long period of time. He has a reason for not wanting to do.
Yeah, but
whatever.
you need to do that. And I can tell you, just one writer to a wannabe writer, let me tell you, you'll do better working and writing, because you stimulate, you see people, you get input, you get thoughts, you hear a phrase, you see a personality, you see a setting, you see something that stimulates you. Unless you got a lot of like the zombies in your den or something, you got to get out in the world and interact with the world. I mean, that's the fiber of what you write about. I promise you that's true. You need a job. You need a job because it will help you do what you're doing, and it will help you in your marriage. You need a job. Yes. And then we wrote to me before the wedding, and now 1 year later, she invited me a new letter. This time, the problem has gotten worse, but it's the same problem she wrote to me about before she got married to begin with. So, are we headed for a third email? We'll see.
Dan thinks I'm lazy. He's used the words irresponsible, unorganized, or lazy. He does everything in the house, and I sit on my butt and do nothing.
I do not feel that she is stealing her part in our marriage.
I definitely think that Dan is lazy. Sometimes I feel like I'm a kid. I don't care.
Well, today we're talking to couples where one spouse says the other is just lazy. Now, my next guest, Selena, says that her husband, Dan, treats her like a child when it comes to cleaning. Dan says Selena's just lazy and irresponsible like a child.
Selena's my wife. We've been married a year and a half.
Dan thinks I'm lazy. He's used the words irresponsible, unorganized, or lazy.
She tends to be a little lazy, and it's causing a lot of fights between us.
I definitely don't like cleaning. I like it when it looks clean. I just don't like spending the time doing it.
I do not feel that she is stealing her part in our marriage.
I definitely think that Dana is lazy. Sometimes I feel like I'm a little kid.
On a day-to-day basis, she'll come from work, she'll get the mail and throw it on her. And just leave it there. When I come home from work and see that, it just stresses me out.
And my thought is, if he has such a problem with it, then he should take up the responsibility of paying the bills.
It comes to folding, putting the clothes away, they'll throw them all in a basket. Which ones are clean, which ones are dirty, I don't know where to put them. They're just all mixed in together.
Dan usually does most of the vacuuming. I don't even know how to use a vacuum. Dan is more of like the picking up and putting things away.
When I'm organizing and cleaning the house, I see something on the legs. If I'm tired and I feel like I need help, if she's not willing to give it to me, I'm gonna blow it.
I don't see the mess. I'll walk by something 10 times and I just don't see it. My bedroom looks like a tornado in it.
Every night Selena goes to bed, she would bring water. And the glass never seems to make it back downstairs. So it would just sit and accumulate in my bedroom. If Selena cannot be responsible for herself, how would she know to be responsible for her children?
It makes me upset that Dan thinks that I'm irresponsible to have a baby. That's pretty much saying he doesn't think I'm mature enough to have a child. He thinks that I'm not going to clean up after it.
If we do not settle our disputes now, the problems are going to get more serious.
Sometimes I think that we're not the right people to be together because we can't get past her. And that like really hurts me.
Okay. Now, you wrote to me before you got married that we have a problem. We just see things very differently about this cleaning up stuff, this cleanliness and all of that. And I'm concerned that if I get married, it's a problem. Should we work this out before we get married? I didn't answer. We get a lot of mail. I didn't answer that. Then I get a second email from you that says, I wrote to you before I got married and asked about this, and now we're married and it's a problem. What do we do now? Because we're thinking about having a child. He doesn't want to have a child because he thinks I'm not responsible enough, right?
Yeah.
She's not responsible enough to have a child.
I think if we had a child, it would just bring that much more stress on our relationship, cause more arguments than we're already having. I think we should get to the bottom of our problems before we have children.
When you said, how can we have a baby if you can't take care of yourself? That's a quote from you.
Yes, that's it.
And he said that to you, right?
Yeah.
So you both knew this was a problem before you got married. You knew it, and you walked the aisle. You knew it. You walked the aisle. Well, so now you're at the other end of the aisle.
We had an in-depth conversation before we got there. And we were living with her mother. She promised me once we were on our own, things were gonna be completely different. When she would have her own house, she would be more responsible. If it's her, she would take better care of it. Blah, blah, blah.
And you believe it.
Yeah, I did.
What happens when you got a problem before you get married? And you think that filling out some paperwork and going down to church is gonna solve that problem? What that does is it just takes a problem that you're experiencing part-time, and it now becomes full-time.
I just want an equal effort. If I'm doing laundry, if I'm vacuuming, if I'm organizing the bills, I would appreciate just a little effort. I told her before, she just shows me a little bit of an effort. I think that would help out a lot.
But you know what? You wonder what I think? If your marriage is in this much trouble over how the laundry is sorted or how the mail is arranged, you got much bigger problem than what you're actually talking about, because those are not important enough that they would jeopardize the entire relationship. And you should not, repeat, underline, should not have a baby unless and until this gets resolved. And whatever is going on here, whether this is the issue or this is a topic, you shouldn't be having a baby until you get this resolved. Do you agree?
Also know, like, I am a teacher and I do tons of work at home. And that's what a lot of the thing is that on the weekends, I would rather relax than, clean up the whole entire house. That's more of the issue. I mean, I don't know.
She's not gonna change. Because you have things that you value, like this item. She values them this item. It's just not that important to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't apologize for that. That's just who you are. You're just gonna have to negotiate that out in your relationship, because she's not gonna change. And I think you're absolutely wrong to say she's irresponsible. Because she's not irresponsible. So, she just doesn't have the same values, the same priorities. You take care of things that are important to you, and take care of things that are important to you, and what's left in the middle, you just have to negotiate. Okay, next, a mother who fears she'll pass her laziness on to her kids, which can happen. But it's not laziness with you, it's value. You see the difference? We'll talk about that when we come back. Well, we have a mother here who says that she's been lazy since she was a child. Now, we're talking with you, it's a value, but Kelly says it's not a value, I was lazy. That she'd rather do nothing than something. Now she fears her children will follow in her lazy footsteps. You think you're modeling this?
Yeah, I see it with my kids a lot. They see me sitting around the house all day, and so they're gonna sit around the house all day.
Yeah. So your question is, will you pass this on to your kids?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And they learn to live. They learn to live in a like a frenzied, cluttered environment. Then that's just what feels comfortable to them. And if they grow up in a museum where everything's just perfect and polished, then that's what's normal to them. So yeah, you will pass it on. Why are you lazy?
I'm the youngest of 9, and by the time my mom was done raising us all, she sat and read books, like crossword puzzles all day, and I was playing for her, she did them. But maybe that's why, because maybe I learned it at home too.
There you go. I rest my case. Thanks for being here today. So long. Find something you can hold on. Find someone who never forget. It's a time. I can walk from the baseline to the net. The idea is to have fun. And the idea is for everyone to experience success, to master what's going on. And then it starts scaling up from there. And pretty soon we're hitting balls, volleying balls, hitting ground strokes. Oh, God. What's it like when you see these kids start to light up the racket and they really get a sense of mastery when they can do this?
Even at that level, they should have fun. I mean, if you talk with parents, you'll find out that they're not here for the first, they're here for the social connection, the exercise.
You asked me to be involved. I was really excited about it because these kids need mastery in their life. All right, Molly, good job, good job. And when they're doing something that they drive by and see other kids doing in the park, it just makes them feel more part of the mainstream life. And you see it in their eyes when you play.
It's a typical community program. There's about 15 kids, so we need about 15 high school and college students to volunteer.
It's a great place to get your child, if they're on the spectrum in any way, involved in a great experience, mentally, emotionally, socially, and certainly skill-wise. You get 5 in a row, that's great. This is nonprofit. So there's very minimal charges locally that all go into the program. So, just so this is all about the kids, everything local stays like.
Today on Dr. Phil, she says her daughter is uncontrollable.
I don't want to live here anymore.
It's mom.
To come across to her as very cold. I mean, talk about ice cream, pulling the free.
She's trying to control what I was going to say up here.
Why would you do that?
I was not trying to manipulate. She wants to lie.
I want people to be real out here, and you're backstage sabotaging that. But I hate to see people suffering when these are long enough. Stand by after and then gives you the help that you need. 5, 4. This is going to change that in your life. If you've ever raised a teenager, then you know the challenge of raging hormones and rising temperature. But the parents you're about to meet say they're dealing with a lot more than hormones. They say their daughter recently overdosed, has a temper that goes from 0 to 100 at any given time. Take a listen, be the judge.
Looking at you, please. The reason you cut is because you hate yourself. What do you think I understand this correctly? I need you to relax, so you're gonna self-harm. Yeah, people are into that about myself. I feel like I'm nervous. Why do you need to go talk to Dr. Phil?
Well, that was Kelly and her 16-year-old daughter Ellie having one of their daily screaming, no holds barred battles. Now, Kelly says Ellie has been hospitalized for drug overdose, has an eating disorder, cuts herself. Really, that's just.
My 16-year-old daughter is totally out of control. She started using drugs. She overdosed on Lortab, Xanax, Lunesta, and most recently, she tested positive for Oxycontin. I am so fearful of another overdose or possibly even suicide. My daughter has created total chaos.
I don't want to talk to you. And I'm going to talk to the survivors of people I will be living with. Because I don't want to live here anymore.
It's such hostile anger. My daughter has other issues as well, such as cutting to numb her pain. She recently got mad at me and brought the knife out of her room. Look what you made me do. She has zero impulse control. My daughter's brain is an extremely sensitive subject with her. She has been emotionally eating. She binges on junk food. She's gained close to 50 pounds. I've never been this sad. I just want to die. I'm losing my daughter. I feel like she's slipping away. She's broken and I can't fix her.
Kelly says her husband Rob has gone from spouse and stepfather to really just a referee for their fights. And Rob says Ellie's behavior has gotten so crazy that he put a tracking device on her cell phone. When he found out, of course, shocking. There's so much danger involved in this situation. Are you concerned for your daughter's life or just her emotional development?
I'm extremely concerned. She could be suicidal. She is willing to do anything she can do to numb the pain. And she cares about nothing in her life.
And then it blows up and gets volatile. You're the referee, right, Bob? The good ones tries to calm this down.
I try to moderate them to make sure that they're not escalating whatever they're talking about. And just try to kind of, let's deal with the facts here, let's try to figure out whatever compromise we can.
So what's going on? I mean, you said she's dealing with so much pain. We're talking about a girl here that is being very self-destructive. What is it that's driving all this? You put your hands down and give me your thing.
Obviously, I'm no professional. She's been in counseling since almost 2. We went through a horrible divorce with her father when she was 2.
And the behaviors I'm talking about, I made a list. I mean, let's look at them so we get everything on the table. She bullies you.
Absolutely.
And when you say bullies you, we saw some of that yelling, screaming, accusing, and a lot of blaming. She's cutting herself. She's overdosed. She's been hospitalized for that, right?
Yes.
And when you talk to her about this, she's going to say you're making a big deal.
Her lips are moving.
And she'll trivialize it, say, oh, you're just overreacting. All of that.
She goes berserk, 0 to 100 in 20 seconds, and then she will turn to, I'm charming, I have this halo around me, and master manipulator. And I told her she won't manipulate you.
Well, is 16-year-old Ellie's behavior as bad as her parents say, or as she says, are they just really overreacting? Well, we're going to meet her next.
I sold some of her pain medication. I didn't want to deal with reality at that moment. I didn't want to deal with life. So I just like grabbed so much medication. I guess I took so much stuff that I blacked out. I overdosed.
Really, Rob says 16-year-old Ellie had self-destruction so intense that her mom, Kelly, wrote to me asking for intervention. Kelly says, look, her mom just blows every little thing out of proportion. There is no need for an intervention. I'm fine.
I don't have a really great relationship with my friends. I usually blame most of the fighting on her. Like, you made me say this, and you made me do this. I do sometimes say to her, I'm just like, I hate you. And because I know that that'll like cut deep this other bitch. So go to hell. I am just trying to hurt her in the moment because I feel like she's hurt me. I stole some of my mom's pain medication, and I also took a lot of sleeping medication because I was very upset. I got the drugs from my mom's medicine cabinet. It was not a cry for help. I just wanted to, in my words, get out of things. I didn't want this reality. I just got dumped. I've never taken Oxycontin in my life. The drug test was definitely a false positive. I will stand by that till the day I die. They definitely have no reason to be concerned about my drug use. I've not taken drugs. My mother said that I took those things when she was like, I had cut myself last year. You know what? I feel like the physical pain and sort of forget about the emotional pain, but afterwards, you feel both. It's really stupid. I think that I'm here because my mom wants me to succeed in life.
And I think she thinks that I'm going down the wrong path.
Okay, it's good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And you just said you think you're here today because your mom thinks you're going down the wrong path. Are you?
I was last year, but I don't think I am anymore.
And what was the big turnaround?
I like soul searching, and I realized that I was going down the wrong path last year. Like I didn't really have great grades, and I was not hanging out with the best crowd for me. But I think this year I'm like on a better path.
So what's your goal for being here today? Do you have one?
I have like a lot of rejection issues stemming from when my dad rejected me, and he basically just didn't want to see me. And so that also stems to self-esteem issues with myself.
You're talking like you took a psychology class or something. I'm hearing a lot of therapy speak.
Yeah,
Those are buzzwords that don't really mean anything. I don't know what you're saying.
yeah, I do have a lot of rejection issues.
What's that mean? Tell me that without using the word rejection.
I don't like to put myself out there, like try to make friends with people. I feel like they're going to like reject me, and I feel like they're going to like look at me and see like they're not going to see it as good.
Let's see.
We'll see someone who's not pretty. We'll see someone who doesn't have a good attitude, who doesn't have a good personality.
Are they right?
Yeah, some of the things I think they are. I think I have a lot of issues, and I don't think my personality, my attitude are that great.
Tell me about the loneliness.
I just don't feel like I can talk to my mom about anything, because I think she's been in touch with me. I think she judges me about everything. She just criticizes me. So I don't feel like I can talk to her, because if I talk to her, she'll just tell me, well, you shouldn't feel that way. You shouldn't feel the way you're feeling. You shouldn't do that. She doesn't even try to like console me. I just feel very lonely, and I don't feel like I can talk to anyone.
You feel lonely, what do you say to yourself?
I just tell myself like you're not good enough. Obviously, that's why you know what. Why you don't have any friends. That's why you can't talk to your mom. That's why your dad didn't want to feed you.
Must be a pretty crummy kid if your own father didn't see you, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You've had boyfriends before.
One.
Had a breakup.
Yeah.
How'd you handle that?
I didn't handle that well at all. I was supposed to go home with a friend, and then that happened. And I just told her no. Like my mom was out of town with my grandparents in another state. So I called my mom crying. I was sobbing. I was so upset because that was like my first like anything. She kind of tried to like help me. Then we hung up, and I guess she thought that she'd done everything to help me, and I didn't feel that way. So I went to the medicine cabinet, and I'm trying to say, I sold some of her pain medication. I didn't want to deal with reality at that moment. I didn't want to deal with life. So I just like grabbed so much like medication. I guess I took so much stuff, and that I blacked out.
Well, what's not working for you in your life?
My relationship with my mom is not working in my life at all. My relationship with my father is not working in my life because it's not healthy for me. It doesn't help me. And my relationship with others, I can't put myself up there because of fear of rejection from him.
So that gets overwhelming. At times. So you look for a way to escape that. Used a lot of different strategies, sleep, a lot, drugs, try cutting. How do you feel about your body?
I don't like what I see. I don't like when I go to the doctor, I can't even look at the scale. I have to look up.
My mom does not want me to diet because she feels like I will go too far to the extreme. Come on,
In case of surprise damage. And in case of surprise embarrassment. On the plus side, AAA has auto and life insurance because you feel like you just died inside.
The idea is to have fun. And the idea is for everyone to experience success, to master what's going on. And then it starts scaling up from there. And pretty soon we're hitting balls, and volleying balls, hitting ground stroke. Oh, shot. What's it like when you see these kids start to light up and racket and because they really get a sense of mastery when they can do this.
You can at that level, make sure they have fun. I mean, if you talk to parents, you'll find out that they're not here for the first, they're here for the social connections, the exercise.
You asked me to be involved, I was really excited about it because these kids need mastery in their life. All right, Molly, good job, good job. And when they're doing something that they drive by and see other kids doing in the park, it just makes them feel more part of the mainstream life and see it in their eyes when they play it.
There's a typical community program, there's about 15 kids, so we have 15 high school college students to volunteer.
It's a great way to get your child, if they're on the spectrum in any way, involved in a great experience, mentally, emotionally, socially, and certainly skill-wise. You're 5 in a row, that's great. This is non-profit. There's very minimal charges locally that all go into the program. So this is all about the kids, everything local stays like.
Benefits, no, maybe. My mom does not want me to diet because she feels like I will go too far to the extreme.
You guys get amped up.
Apparently only I do. Apparently it's small.
Let's take it.
Wow. He just gets the moments where I'm screaming. Then get the moments where she is.
But that still is you on the tape. And I'm not really worried about what she has to say right now. Because you notice that you've come out here, I'm just talking to you. Because talk about when cares what you're thinking, feeling, or experiencing. But I certainly do. That's why I haven't spent any time talking to you on them that you got out here. Because I want to know you. I want to know what's going on with you. I want to know what it takes for you to not just be at peace, but to be happy. We were going to write a script for your life. You could. What would that script be?
Okay, so what, like next 10 years or like now?
Oh shit, I'm still alive. We'll watch Dr. Philly out and I'm going to bed.